Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Meteor Raptor, and I have a crossbow now. That really added nothing to this review, I just wanted to show you this. Also, this is like my trademark look now. And if you have a problem with it, I don't care. If you don't like the new intro, I don't care. Well, I kinda do, but I wanna try this out. Anyhow, here I've got a 2014 video game review actually on one of my favorite games, which is simply Watch Dogs. Okay, I've mentioned Watch Dogs several times before, saying I love this game, I'm gonna go play it, I do it whenever I get stressed out. Like, you might be wondering, why haven't I done a review yet? Well, let me make this one thing perfectly clear. Watch Dogs is a great game. It's nowhere near perfect. There are far better games than it. Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice, Grand Theft Auto 5, they're all better games. But just to me, Watch Dogs, heck, every Assassin's Creed game, even Assassin's Creed Revelations in a way is kind of better than Watch Dogs. But you know what? None of that really matters to me because in the end, Watch Dogs is still a great game. And the reason why it's taken me so long to make this review is because I've been trying to figure out, how do I really feel about it? Am I really just going, this game was awesome, and then not looking at it a second time like I've sometimes done with movies? Or do I genuinely think it's a really good game? I've played through it twice now, and I can tell you my final thoughts. The game is flawed, but very few games aren't. But this game is still a ton of fun. Let me explain. The story? The plot itself is a very basic, you're a guy, like your niece was killed, Aiden Pierce's niece was killed, and you're out for revenge and you want to try and find the guy, and then you realize there's all this more going on, the people who he was working for, you start tracking them down, your partner comes back. Like, I don't want to go into all the details and spoil it, because it's actually a pretty good story, but it is pretty basic and it's kind of cliched, but you know what? It's fine. I do want to touch on this though. Everyone tends to really hate Aiden Pierce, saying he's not a hero. In fact, according to WatchMojo.com, they rated him as the third or second worst hero in video games. I think he's great. Let me explain. Aiden Pierce isn't a hero. There really is no quote-unquote hero in the story. And this is just my opinion. You guys might think differently. Let me know below. But to me, Aiden Pierce, he's just a guy who was horribly wronged, resulting in the death of his niece. And the only thing that he wants is just to find the guy who did it. He just wants revenge for what happened. And as he goes, he's forced to realize there's more going on. He has to deal with more than just the one guy that killed his niece. Like, he gets dragged into this whole huge story that he wasn't trying to find in the first place. He just wanted to find the one guy, but he was dragged into something beyond his control, and he kind of had to go with it. And I think the way he chose to go with it is kind of like with Rick and Morty. Like, Rick really cares for Morty, he just can't show it. I think Aiden really wants to be the good guy, but he tries to keep really straight-faced. He tries to keep very emotionally dead. He does not try to get angered. He does not try to get overjoyed. Like, he knows the dangers of bringing friends into this. Like, a girl he meets who he ends up becoming friends with dies because of this. Like, he's got a lot of characteristics to him that really you have to look deeper for. But I can see why some people would say he's not a straight-up hero. Anyhow, the dialogue's pretty good. The game's logic kind of doesn't make sense because you hack everything with your phone. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to really question it because it's a video game, but yeah, that is kind of stretching it. Gameplay? It's pretty good. The shooting segments are pretty good. It's a third-person game, and the stealth scenes are actually pretty fun, and I'm not a huge fan of stealth in general. The shootouts are always a lot of fun, especially when you go into focus mode, and you can make everything go in slow motion. My one big complaint with combat is there's no melee combat. Okay, there is, but you just run up and break their neck, or like you knock them unconscious. Like, you don't get to actually go up and like do like Assassin's Creed. You don't get to have like fight, counter, fight, throw. You don't get to do any of that. It's either you shoot them or your character does it for you, and you have and that's it. Or you run them over with the car, which is actually a ton of fun. It's just, yeah, in the game, it's got this whole system. Like, if you kill an innocent person, people turn around on you. Or, like, if you save someone from a criminal, then people start to try and go, like, yeah, the vigilante, he's a cool dude, they don't call the cops as much. And you know what? I like games like that. I like games where you actually have to deal with the consequences for your actions. The first game I think that really implemented this, or at least that I know of, was Infamous. And that was a great game. Well, Infamous 2 was. Infamous 1 was incredibly frustrating. But I'm getting off topic. So I like how there's a whole system built into the game and that people will actually react to you. Because unlike in Assassin's Creed where it's just, oh, the cops will look for you if they see you, this it's like they can call you and then you can choose either to kill them and get more people like freaked out, or you can choose just to take their phone. Which actually is actually kind of a cool technique. You can harm the innocent to get the job done at the risk of people hating you. Or you can do it the hard way and try not to hurt anyone. Even though sometimes you might hit the one odd person. Or two. Dozen. I should never be allowed to drive in real life. Yeah. Anyhow, so what else is there to talk about a game? Well, when you're going to talk about a game, one thing that you have to talk about is graphics. You can't get through a video game without talking about the graphics. Now let me make this perfectly clear. I really need to stop bringing this thing in here because I have no real use for it. I just like doing that on camera. The first time I played through Watch Dogs was on the Wii U, and I still have the Wii U copy. And the graphics looked pretty bad in that game. I've seen it on the PS4 and Xbox One and PS3. Even though PS3 was incredibly glitchy and didn't work half the time, I ended up selling it to get the Wii U version. Just as a side note. Looks fantastic in this game. The graphics are beautiful. And then again with Ubisoft though, I've known them to make some pretty good looking games. So I was kind of expecting that for a game like this. Music? Well, let's see, what haven't I talked about? I've talked about the controls, I've talked about the graphics. Well, I haven't really talked about controls. Part of the fun with the controls is even when you're driving, you can hack streetlights and barriers, and you can like make lifts go up and down to help you escape. Like, there's all sorts of things that surround you in, where is it, Chicago? Yeah, Chicago. And that can help you either escape or hide or just cause mischief, which, once you're done the story mode, half the fun to me is just causing mischief and chaos. You know what, I'm a bad guy, I'll admit it. Okay, no, not really. But once I'm done the game, I try to play as like the hero the whole way through. But once you're done the game, there's no real need to be the hero anymore. So I just like getting into the car and just mowing over people. That sounded incredibly dark, but I'm not taking it back. Anyhow, so something I didn't know about till recently is a lot of people got really upset when Watch Dogs came out, claiming it was, well, third wave feminists, I need to be careful with this, said it was very disrespectful to women. Let me go through all the female characters that you meet in this game. You have Aiden Pierce's sister, who is a very good mother, a very good character. Like, she's the basic caring mother who's grieving over the loss of her daughter, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, she's very basic, like a normal housewife, even though you're not married to her, because that'd be really weird. She's a stable character. You have Claire, or Bad Boy, as she's originally known. She is like the emo goth punk rock hacker who becomes friends with you, and it turns out had connections with the people that killed your niece, but she wanted to change from that. Those are the only real female characters that show up in this game that actually make an impact, unless you include that one scene where you're in a strip club. And let me just say, I was not a fan of that level. Yeah, I don't want anyone getting the wrong idea. I really did not enjoy that level. And just to parents who are wondering if their kids could play this game, there is a level where there are a bunch of naked women for about 5 minutes. Like, it's not heavily enforced, and you go there to set them free and stuff. Like, it's just, I felt like the game could have been fine either way. I think like the game could have been better without it. But I don't see why people are getting so upset over the whole women not being portrayed right. Alright, so I'm kind of beating around the bush though. What do I really think about Watch Dogs? I've told you that I think it's a great game, but it does have flaws, such as no melee combat, a pretty cliched story, the main character gives some more development, and there's not much to do once you beat the story unless you buy the DLC, which I've been meaning to actually. So, I'm going to go ahead and give Watch Dogs 3 Raptor Claws out of 4. And Ubisoft, if you're watching this, or if anyone here who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows someone who works at Ubisoft is watching this, or someone who works at Ubisoft is watching this, let me give you a few suggestions for Watch Dogs 2, because I'm pretty sure that is a thing, and I can't wait. Number 1, make Aiden Pierce more developed, if he's going to be the main character in the sequels. Make him either more like Rorschach, like he's dark when he fights crime, or make him more like Batman when he still has a line he doesn't want to cross. Make him more relatable. 2, melee combat. Just make it a thing. I don't care if I don't care if it's like you're using metal rods. Heck, metal rods, chainsaws, baseball bats, all that kind of stuff would be great for close quarter combat. Okay, that would be great. Number 3, give us more than just one city to be in. And that's what all the Assassin's Creed games are great with, is they give you multiple locations to go to. And number 4, give us more to do after the story's over. But other than that, it's a really good game, and if you haven't played Watch Dogs, I recommend it. And actually, there was a friend of mine, his name is Snowplayer. He actually made a very interesting list of the top 5 games like Watch Dogs. I'll show you the top 2 now.
Snowplayer presents.
The entry fee is only $200, but the dresses, makeup, choreography.
What does she need that for? She's 6.
She's gotta learn to dance. She ain't gonna win the big prize if she don't. Baby's gotta be good to make mama rich.
Yeah, he said that. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. I love this game. I'm gonna go play it some more. I'm not done the second playthrough. I highly recommend it. I hope you guys all get the chance to go play it. And until next time, this is the Meteor Raptor saying keep cool. And I will see you guys around. On the road to 100.